Welcome to Mishna Salem, Terumot Perek Tet Mishna Aleph. Over here in this Perek, we're really going to discuss if a person takes some of his Teruma and he plants it, right? So imagine you took some of your Teruma wheat, now you planted it. Now what grows from that, first of all, what are you allowed to do with it? When it's in the ground, are you allowed to destroy it? Are you not allowed to destroy it? Do you have to keep it? Once it grows, is the status of it Teruma? Or do we say that it's something totally new? So that's what we're going to discuss in this Perek. Hazurah Teruma. If someone goes and plants teruma, shogeg yofach, umezid yekayem. If he did it by mistake, right, he's allowed, and I'm explaining that Karambam, he's allowed to go ahead and plow out the ground. Right? He could plow through it. He's allowed to turn it over. Umezid, if he did it purposefully, that he planted teruma, now yekayem, he must leave it. He's not allowed to plow through it because that would destroy the teruma. You're not allowed to destroy the teruma. Let's say it grew a third. Right, now, once it grew a third, ben shogeg ben mezid yekayem. Now at this point, you have to go ahead and leave it. Ubapishtan mezid yofach. If it's flax, right? Linen comes from flax. If you went ahead and you planted flax, right? Teruma flax. If you did it on purpose, right? Then yofach over here, you must, right? You must over here go ahead and turn it up, right? You're not allowed to let it grow. And why so? Right? You're not allowed to let it grow. Why so? And Rambam says because it's a gezerah, right? That you may go ahead and benefit from the wood stem part, right? Even though, right? Because you may think, person may think, oh no, only the seed is considered teruma. But with the stem of it, is considered like a regular wood, right? And he may treat it like straw, which is not considered teruma. But even this part of the flax, right? Even that stem of the flax is also considered teruma. And because someone may not realize that, therefore we say if he did it b'mezid, if he did it purposefully, he must go ahead and turn it over, plow through it. Now what's interesting is over here at Rambam, at the beginning of the Mishnah, when he said shogeg yofach, right? We said you're allowed, right? If a person planted teruma, he's allowed to go ahead and plow through it, right? At the end of the Mishnah, when he says mezid, when it comes to the flax, over there he must do it. What's interesting is the first half of the Mishnah, Teruma also explains the same way, but the Rash, for example, actually explains differently. He explains if a person planted teruma, if he did it by mistake, he must go ahead and plow through it, and mezid, he's allowed to leave it, right? It's interesting. Rambam, when he quotes in the Hibur, in the Mishneh Torah, right, he actually leaves it very ambiguous, right? He just says, right? So you don't really know what he means to say. You're allowed to go ahead and turn it over. Do you have to turn it over? Some Mefarshim, Mari Korkos, for example, actually understood within the Mishneh Torah of Rambam that if you planted it by mistake, that you must turn it over, right? But if you look over here in the Perusha Mishnah, it's clear what Rambam meant. Right? Because you could use this to really shed light on how he understood the Mishneh Torah, how he understood halacha when he didn't give reasoning. And over here, he's very clear that when he says shogeg, if you did it by mistake, he meant that you're allowed to go ahead and turn it over.